Okay, I think I unmuted. Okay, hello everyone. It is Carrie from Carry On Accessibility, and this is day 3 of my iPhone switching to iPhone challenge. So I'll be using an iPhone as my daily driver for the next 2 weeks. I've done a few videos about starting it and my impressions on the second day, and I didn't catch the first day because it just didn't end up happening, didn't have time for it. But I'm hoping to do a video, either a live stream or maybe just a little short vlog thing that I did yesterday. And I'm hoping to do that each day so that you can come along with me on my iPhone journey because boy, am I struggling, honestly. Part of the reason is I don't think I've fully set up like my iPhone. Um, and so that's kind of what I want to do today is just set it up with you guys and you can just watch, maybe laugh at me because being an Android user and everything. But hopefully somebody out there gets something out of this video. So I have been struggling and I've been using Siri a lot because all my apps are everywhere. And I know this is like a me problem because I just haven't sat down and figured out where apps should go or what I should do. So, let me know in the comments. I know there's a few of you watching. What are you guys using? An Android or an iPhone? Leave that in the comments. And also, yeah, do you think I'll survive the 14 days? I guess I have 11 more days, not including today. I really do miss my Samsung. But anyway, without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and start trying to organize my life because my phone is like half of my life. But one thing I did notice is iPhone, recently got the widgets and everything, right? But one interesting thing is that they still have labels for their widgets. Um, and this is just really kind of interesting to me that it has like right under the widget. Let me see. Hold on.
Friday, November 18th. Batteries. Widget set. Declock. Friday, November 18th.
It has to tell me declock. Like it has to tell me the name of the widget, which I just think is kind of funny that I have to hear that or that it has to even say that. Like it's there's a label on there. One thing that I haven't gotten used to and that I haven't really figured out yet um, is like these stackable widgets. I remember I moved over the battery over to like my homepage.
Batteries. Widget set. There's iPhone 3. 89% charge.
I'll probably
Describe images. On actions. Act. Handwriting. Characters. Words. Speaking rate. 70. Braille screen input. Landscape.
Oh,
Charge port to the right. Screen
no,
rate.
I don't want. Okay, so this is one thing too. Like Braille screen input is great and I like it, but like it's hard to get
Tabletop.
back
Screen.
to the
Tabletop.
rotor.
Portrait. Alert. Opening a blind
Oh
legend.
my
A blind legend would like
goodness.
to send you notifications.
I didn't ask to open Blind Legend, okay?
Don't allow
Well, you
button.
guys know this is authentic. Okay, go
App switcher.
home. Go
Close a
home.
blind legend.
Go home.
A blind legend. Direct touch area.
No,
Use the rotor.
go home.
Declock. 15. 59.
So, as an Android user, I'm so used to doing a swipe up and left to go home, or even just 2 fingers swipe up from the bottom. And like this, it's like it's such a longer gesture to go to home or to the app switcher. And it's just something that I guess I have to get used to. So what was I trying to do? Um, right.
Declock. Friday. There's iPhone 3. 88% charge.
So there's like this battery widget. And so the first time I moved it from like the widgets page to like my home screen, it just kept changing on me. And I'm like, I just want to know my battery. Why are you telling me like my recent contact or
Calendar.
showing
Friday,
me?
November 18th.
Oh, you see, it just changed. And I'm like, how do I get that to stop changing? Okay, so there's a few comments here. hey, independently blind, it simply comes down to what you are used to. Um, I've been using Apple forever and have no problems, or should I say, nothing I'm not used to, and already have workarounds. I must say, it's fun watching me. And Morocco, I am following you from Libya. Hey, nice to meet you, and
Screen name.
would like you to contact. Yeah, so
Notes.
send
Double tap
definitely
to open.
send me an email if you want to contact me. Email at carryonaccessibility.com. What I am on iPhone. Oh, that you're an iPhone girl, and there's also Joshua in here. Try cursing; it really helps me. Well, yeah, I don't usually curse, so yeah. I have been really tempted to throw it out the window or just go and pick up my Android, any Android. Like, please just give me an Android. This thing doesn't make sense. And I really think to independently blind's like point, it's really what you're used to. And it's so interesting. There's people that do things differently and get to things differently that you're when you think about it makes sense, like their point of view, but like from my point of view, it's like, why don't you just do it this other way? But
YouTube. 7 new items. Double tap
it's
to open.
just really frustrating. One of my biggest frustrations, which I mentioned in my video yesterday, is just the font. The font on iPhone, you can get it really big, like you can set it to max, but only the operating system apps will change. Like there might be
YouTube.
other
7 new items.
places where
Double
it
tap to open.
slightly changes, but nowhere even close to like the operating system app. So I really need that optimization for all the apps. Like Apple is so powerful, like their influence and everything on the App Store and developers, they need to use that for
Screen name.
accessibility
YouTube. 7 new
and
items.
for
Double tap to open. Letter.
and for this font and scaling and everything. Also, I was actually on Sam's Discord server, and there was a person, which I cannot pronounce their name. I don't know how to pronounce it. They were talking about how they have both Android tablets, an Android phone, an iPhone, and an iPad, which I basically also have. And with iPhone, it's like you kind of have to pick if you want to go with voiceover or magnification, because there's just so many conflicting parts. If you think about it, like the gestures, if you can't do like a three finger pan around when voiceover is on. So like for example, I'm here on the homepage. If I double tap with three fingers, like you can see it does zoom in, but then when you try to move around and you
Page
swipe
2 of 5.
around,
Audible. Double tap to
like
open.
it goes to voiceover, and it'll go to the next page or like be a voiceover gesture as opposed to like a zoom gesture. And also, like just having the font set to higher, like a higher font, and because I have the zoom controller, like it really makes voiceover crazy. It gets all buggy and it gets stuck when I double tap on a button. It just gets stuck, and apparently that's because of magnification, which is really frustrating. I want to be able to use both. Like I can still see and I want to be able to use my vision, but a lot of the time, I don't want to have to use my vision because of eye strain, or it's just a bad eye day because of my glaucoma. And I just feel like iPhone, it's like you have to pick one or the other for it to work well. I mean, I have a lot of people and a lot of friends who say who are blind, and they have no problem with iPhone. And I really think it's because of like the fact that I have display set to zoomed and my font settings and the fact that I'm using magnification. Joshua says, "Oh, no, voiceover isn't reading the messages in the chat. It does on Android. Oh, it doesn't read it on um on iPhone? Oh, that's interesting. I think though, one thing that I noticed, the accessibility on both Android and iPhone and iPad is different. Like the experience you have with voiceover on an iPhone is different than an iPad. I think that a lot of the time the iPad apps are different from the iPhone apps, and that's probably what it could be. I don't know if it's necessarily voiceover, but the apps are different, and the interface is different. And so I think that plays a big factor in whether things are accessible or not with voiceover on iPhone versus iOS. Yeah, so I don't have like a lot of time, but I did want to try to do a little bit of setup. So um again, I just keep talking to Siri because I can never find anything. So we're gonna try to do this with voiceover.
Audible.
So
16:06.
I have
Photos.
my clock,
Double tap to open.
and this is another thing I'm disappointed in is like this clock. If anybody could recommend a larger font widget, because like let me show you on my Android, and yes, it's very close to me because just because. Okay, if you compare the sizes of the clocks, you can see that the Samsung one, the one I have, which is DigiClock, versus the D clock on iPhone, there's a huge difference. It's so much easier for me to read this versus versus
Clock. Friday, November 18th.
versus this. And I don't know, maybe there's an app out there with a larger app, with a larger screen, with a larger, what do you call it? With a larger clock. There you go. So I just want that. Also, so let's go ahead. Let's see.
Notes. Photos.
So
Double tap photos. Double tap to open.
photos, I'm gonna make a like tools folder maybe. So I gotta go to edit.
Most recent button.
Oh,
Favorites. Favorite.
Forgot.
Search button. Most recent button.
okay, let's go back. Oh, and the scrub
Photos.
feature,
Double tap to open.
like where you use 2 fingers to scrub to go back, doesn't always work. Okay,
Photos.
anyway,
Double tap to open. Edit mode.
edit mode, double tap
Start
there, and now
Photos. Is editing.
we got
Double tap and hold to
photos,
forward and drag.
and
Clock. Is editing. 4:08 p.m. Double
we
tap and
got
hold to forward and
clock.
drag. Off photos. Row -1. Column -1. Book. Create a utilities folder. Letter.
Okay. Oh, we got a
Add
utilities
Is editing.
folder.
Open utilities folder. Open utilities folder.
Wait,
Zoom
I
controls.
didn't want to
Double tap to show
do
zoom
that.
menu. Quadruple tap to
Okay,
toggle zoom.
go back.
Closing utilities. Letter. Is editing. Double tap
Okay,
and hold to forward and
weather.
drag. Stop editing apps. Activate. Drag weather.
We'll just do it this
Utilities
way.
folder. Is editing. 2 apps. Calendar. Is editing. Widget. Set. Mail. Is editing. 1 email. Double YouTube. Is editing. 7 new items.
Okay.
Notes. Is editing.
We'll
Double
get
tap to
this
add. Drag 2
one.
items. App Store.
Dragging
Instagram.
2
Is editing.
items.
App Store. Is editing.
App
Double tap to add
Store,
and
we'll
drag.
get
Drag
that
3
one
items.
too.
Instagram. TikTok. Is it YT Studio. Magnifier. Is editing. DAD. Is editing. Audible. Is editing.
Okay,
Double tap. YT
so
is editing.
those
7 new utilities
things,
folder. Is editing. 2 apps.
how do I put it in?
Cancel drag. Activate. Default. Stop editing apps. Activate. Default. Cancel drag. Activate. Default.
Okay, we'll double tap here.
Open
And how do I
Row 1.
drag
Column
it
3.
in?
Photos. Is editing. Clock. Is editing. Page 1 2. Adjustable. Swap clock. Is editing. 4:09 p.m. Character
So
mode.
how do I put it inside this folder? Okay, somebody tell me how I put it inside this folder because I'm confused. I have been no iPhones out for frustration. Okay. Because like, let me try to figure it
Clock.
out.
Is edit photos. Is editing. Character mode. Double tap to add
Okay.
drag.
No, I don't want to
Clock.
add
Is
it
editing.
to drag.
Stop editing apps. Close folder. Stop editing app. Activate. Default. Cancel drag. Activate. Default.
Cancel drag.
Stop editing apps. Activate. Default.
Activate default. So if I double tap there.
Dragging 4 items. Photos. Is editing.
Oh no, it added it to the drag. How do I drop them?
Photos. Is editing. Photos. Is editing. Cancel drag. Drop letter. Notes. App Store after photos.
Oh,
Drop ready.
there we go. Okay.
Drop complete.
Okay. I don't remember it having that. Okay. So that's fine. Let's try to make another one. So we'll scrub. See, the scrub's not working again. So
Clock. Is editing. 4:10 p.m. Page 1. Adjustable. Adjustable. Clock. App. Note. Letter. Photos. Is it clear text. Folder name. Utilities. Text. Folder name. Text field.
how do I get
folder
out
name,
of the
text field.
folder?
Closing utilities
Okay,
folder.
there you go.
Add to
Finally, the 2 finger scrub worked. Now we need to make a social folder.
Facebook. Is editing. Character mode.
So
Drag Facebook. Delete. Drag Facebook.
drag.
Settings. Is editing. 1 new Twitter. Is editing. 8 new item. Cancel drag. Activate. Default.
Okay, we have
Drag
to
into
add
items.
that.
Settings is editing. One new item.
I wish it would say like add it to drag.
Audible. YT Studio. TikTok is editing.
Okay.
Double tap. Dragging 3 items. YT Studio. Magnifier. YT Studio is editing. Double tap to add
Add
drag. Dragging
that.
4 items. Magnifier. Is editing. Audible. Is editing. YouTube. Is editing. 7 Instagram. Is editing. Double tap to add drag.
Gonna
Dragging
add
5 items.
that.
Magnifier. Is editing. Mail. Is editing. 1 YouTube. Is editing. 7 settings. Is editing. 1 new item.
Okay.
Settings. Is editing. 1 new
So
item.
how do you make a
tap to add drag.
folder?
Audible. Is editing. Cancel drag. Create new folder with Audible and YT Studio. Twitter. TikTok. Instagram. Facebook. Drop ready.
Okay. I guess
Create a
so.
social networking folder. Add widget button. Social networking folder. Is editing.
Wait,
6
let
apps.
me see
89
what
Audio
app.
social Audible. Is editing.
Oh,
Double tap and
it
hold to form with drag.
made the folder with Audible. So now I have to take Audible out. This is fun, guys. Okay.
Drag Audible.
Drag Audible.
Facebook. Is editing. Row 1. Column 1.
Okay. So then how do I get out of the folder? Okay.
Closing social networking folder.
The
Social
scrub
networking folder.
actually did
5 apps,
work.
8 new items. YouTube. Is editing. 7 new items.
We'll get
Dragging 2 items.
YouTube.
Magnify. DAD. Is editing. Double tap to add dragging 3 items. Clue maps. Is editing. Keys for kids. Is editing. Settings. Keys for kids.
Okay,
Is editing.
keys for
Dragging 4 items.
kids.
Clue maps. Camera. Is editing. Discord. Is editing.
Okay.
Utilities folder. Is magnifier. Is editing. Utilities folder. Is editing. 5 apps.
Okay. So now.
Discord. Is editing. Double tap. Settings. Is editing. 1 new item. Utilities folder. Is editing. Settings. Clue camera. Is editing. Double tap to add to drag. Page 2 of 6. Amazon. Gmail. Is it Bible? Is editing. Uber Eats. Streamlabs. Is editing. Bible. Is editing. 4 new item. Uber Eats. Is editing.
Let's
Double tap to
see.
page 3 of 6. Test flight. Is editing. TikTok. Is editing. Files. Is editing. Find my. Is editing. Shortcuts. Is editing. Find my. Is editing. Double tap to add to drag.
That app.
Motive. Slack. Is
Oh,
editing.
find mine.
Translate. Is editing. Contacts. Is editing. Fitness. Is editing. Tips. Is editing. Utilities folder. Is editing. Clubhouse. Is editing. Supersense. Is editing.
Oh,
Clubhouse. Is editing.
Clubhouse.
Supersense. Is editing. Sing AI. Is editing. Supervision Plus. Is editing. Google. Is editing. Zoom. Is editing. Yahoo Mail. Is editing. Motive. Is editing. Slack. Is editing. Messenger. Is editing. Meet. Is editing. Clue. Is editing. Telegram. Is editing. Page 3 of 6. Adjustable. Double tap. Page 4 of 6. Snapchat. Is editing. Double tap to add to drag. Chrome. Is editing. AIO Club. Is editing. MetaMask. Is editing.
Okay,
AIO Club.
here.
Is editing.
I
Double
found
tap to add
another
drag.
one.
Cancel drag. Create new folder with AIO Club and Audible. Drop ready.
Okay. I gotta create the
Create
folder.
notes folder.
I wish there was a way to create
widget
the
button.
folder like right when if you have like a whole group of apps that you want to drag, there needs to be a way to create a folder without having to find another app and swipe up and create a folder. Anyway,
Kobo Books. Is editing. Apple Store. Is editing. MetaMask. Chrome. Is editing. Snapchat. Is editing.
okay,
Double
so
tap and hold to perform move. Drag.
Snapchat,
Drag Snapchat.
drag.
Libby. Is editing. Libby. NBC News. People. Is editing. MetaMask. Chrome. Is editing. MetaMask. Is editing. Yahoo. Finance. Realtor.com. Disney Plus. Kindle. Is editing. LibriVox. Is editing. Speechify. Voiceover. LibriVox. Is editing.
Oh,
Speech.
LibriVox needs to
Homescapes.
go
Is
there.
editing. Double tap to add to Google Fi. Is editing.
Okay, I know
Page 3 of 6.
there's
Telegram. Is editing.
there's
Double tap
Telegram.
to dragging 2 items. Motive. Clue. Is editing. Double tap Meet. Is editing. Messenger. Is editing.
Okay,
Meet.
well,
Is editing. Double tap to add to
Meet.
drag.
I guess is that in social?
Messenger. Is editing.
I don't know.
Double tap to add dragging 3 items. Yahoo Mail. Is editing. Double tap to add to
Okay.
drag. Zoom. Google. Supervision Plus. Google. Zoom. Is editing.
I guess
Double tap to
everything is
dragging 4
just
items.
gonna go like
Meet. Is
social
editing.
and
Clue. Is editing.
communication.
Meet. Is editing. Slack. Is editing. Meet. Is editing. Double tap to add to drag.
Meet
Dragging 5 items. Slack. Is editing.
and Slack.
Dragging 6 items. Sing AI. Is editing. Supervision Plus. Google. Is editing. Yahoo Mail. Is Supersense. Is Clubhouse. Is editing. Supersense. Is editing.
Oh,
Clubhouse. Is editing.
Clubhouse.
Double tap to add to dragging 7 items. Supersense. Is editing. Utilities folder. Is editing.
Utilities.
Is editing. Double fitness. Is editing. Contacts. Is editing. Translate. Is editing. Shortcuts. Is editing. Find my. Is editing. Files. Is editing. TikTok. Is editing. Test flight. Is editing.
Okay.
Double page 2 of 6.
So now we have to
Widget
go
button.
back. You see, I'm trying to use 3 fingers to swipe, and no, why not? Why
Page
is
2
it
of 6.
not working?
Double tap to page 1 of 6.
Okay. You have to like. It feels like I swiped with 3 fingers. It went to the other page, and then it just. I tried to do it again to go to the previous page again, and it wasn't working. And it's just like it feels like you have to work around it so much. Okay.
Utilities folder.
Now
Mail.
where
Is
did I
editing. Magnify.
put
Is editing. Social networking folder. Is
social?
editing. 5
Okay.
apps. 8 new items.
So I'm gonna
Cancel drag. Activate default. Stop editing apps. Drop Snapchat before social networking folder. Drop ready.
no.
Add Snapchat to social networking folder. Drop ready.
Okay. There we go. I'll
Drop
double
complete.
tap there.
Settings. Is editing. 1 new item. Clue maps. Is editing. Social networking folder. Is editing. Mail. Is editing. 1 image. Discord. Is editing.
Oh,
Double tap and hold to perform
Discord
with
needs to
camera.
go
Is
in there
editing. Discord.
too.
Is editing. Uber Eats. Is editing. Gmail. Is editing. Amazon. Is editing. Google Calendar. Is editing. Double tap and hold to Clue maps. Is editing. Double tap and hold to perform with
Okay.
drag.
So
Drag Clue maps.
we're gonna drag it,
Double tap. Settings. Is editing. 1 new item.
and then we're
Page
gonna
2 of
make
6.
an accessibility.
Streamlabs. Is editing. Double tap to add to drag. Page 3 of 6. Test flight. Is editing. TikTok. Is editing. Files. Is editing. Find my. Is editing. Shortcuts. Is editing. Translate. Contacts.
Okay.
Is fitness. Is editing. Tips. Is editing. Utilities folder. Is editing. 4
Oh,
Supersense.
no.
Is editing.
Okay,
Supersense. Is editing.
super sense.
Double tap
So
to add
I
drag.
guess I'm gonna double tap
Dragging 2 items.
there.
Sing AI. Is editing.
Seeing
Dragging 3 items.
AI,
Supervision Plus. Is editing. Dragging 4 items.
supervision.
Google. Is editing. Yahoo Mail. Is editing. Clue. Is editing. Motive. Is editing. Clue. Dragging 5 items. Motive.
Okay,
Is editing.
Clue also
Page 4 of
needs to
6.
go in there. You
Add
guys
this
should
button.
try out Clue.
Drive. Is editing.
It's
Double
a
tap to clips. Is editing.
it's a fun
Double tap to
app,
add drag.
like a navigation app that's available on iOS, where you can basically map out your environment. And yeah, they do pretty good Cool stuff. Hey, Christian. Christian's in here too. And I haven't been known to thrown. Oh, yeah. So it is frustrating, but like also, I feel like part of it is we all get used to how things work. And like if you're so used to how Android works, you kind of know its ins and out and its quirks and how to use it and everything. Whereas like on it's the same thing when you go from an Android to an iPhone. It's just a different way of thinking.
Clips is editing. Apple Store is editing.
Okay.
Clips is editing.
What
Double tap
is
to add to drag.
Clips? I don't even think I even downloaded anything like Clips.
Drag clips. Activate default. Stop editing apps. Delete.
Okay, we're just gonna delete that. I don't know what that is.
Remove clips. Removing from home screen will keep the app. Delete that button.
I'm gonna delete it.
Delete button. Deleting this app will also delete its data. Cancel button. Delete button.
Okay.
Apple Store is editing. Drag Apple Store.
Okay, why is there an
Activate
Apple
default.
Store?
Stop editing apps. Delete.
I'm gonna delete.
Remove Apple Store. Remove from home screen button. Remove from home screen.
First we'll remove
Chromebooks
that.
is editing. Double tap and hold to perform move by hold and drag. BMO mobile banking is editing. In iCloud. Double tap. Stop editing apps. Activate. Drag BMO mobile bank. Delete.
Okay, delete.
Remove BMO mobile banking. Delete that. Delete that button. Delete BMO mobile banking. Delete button.
Okay, don't
Google
need
Fi is editing.
that.
Character mode. Double tap and hold to
Google
perform move by
Fi,
hold and
we
drag.
need
Is
to
editing.
keep
Character mode.
that.
Google Photos
Drive,
is editing.
photos,
Farmscapes is editing. Character mode. Double tap and hold to
Farmscapes.
perform move by hold and drag. Farmscapes.
Yes, now you guys know that I played Farmscapes.
Delete. Remove from home
Or I
screen
used
button.
to anyway.
Delete that button. Delete that. Delete delete button.
Okay.
Homescapes is editing. Character mode. Double tap and hold
Oh,
to
there's
perform move by
Homescapes too.
Delete. Stop editing app. Delete. Remove from home screen. Delete that button.
I know.
Delete button.
I don't know. One day I might
Add to
try a blind legend, and maybe even like stream that. I have to figure out how I can use like how I can use my computer as my like the camera to capture me, but also screen share on my iPhone, which that would be really nice to have.
Screen
So I just it just
Finish editing.
feels like a
4:17
lot
p.m.
of
Status bar
work
item.
and
Notes folder. Notes folder. 5 apps. 7 new items. Double tap to open.
a lot
Google
of
Photos. Double tap to open.
I think what I did, and I have to figure out where the setting is that every time I download an app, it adds it to the home screen. And I am that kind of person that I want to have like just specific folders, and I just kind of want not everything on my homepage, which drove me crazy before iOS actually allowed you to do that. And yeah, one other thing is like widgets on Android, you can resize them, whereas this one it just kind of comes with whatever the developer made. That's kind of what you get. Whereas like on Android, you can resize them. So there's that too.
4:18 p.m.
One thing that I still don't understand is like the
Synaptic.
be quiet. The fact that all the settings of each app are in the iPhone settings. Like, I guess coming from an Android user, it just makes sense that the settings are in the app instead of the whole phone settings. So that's kind of weird, like for me to get my mind around. Like if I'm having a trouble with a specific app, I'm gonna try to deal with it in the app instead of like going to settings and finding that app, which is I don't I don't really understand it, but that's okay. It's an iPhone. So I'm trying my best to really give this a good go and to try to get in the head of people who like iPhones and all the people who are blind and visually impaired that rave and really like it. And well, initially, the reason why I got an iPhone was for accessibility testing, but also because of FaceTime and iMessage and all that kind of thing. And um I have family in Philippines that, we can't really call each other, but we could FaceTime. And so that's something that's really nice to have. And because Apple's Apple, they're never going to put FaceTime on Android, and they're never going to put iMessage on Android either. Even though they did consider it. I watched like this Apple Explain video where apparently it was under consideration, but they decided not to because it's Apple and they want people to be using an iPhone instead of an Android. So, yeah, I actually have to cut this off, and I guess I'll just have to take the time somehow to set this up because it just feels like I have to do so much more setting up. And maybe that's just because I'm not used to it, but it just feels like that to me. I don't know if there's a way that you can eliminate a whole homepage because on Android, you can just like remove a whole homepage and remove it from like a home screen. And I don't know if iOS actually allows you to do that. Another thing is like I can't get to the all apps, like the app library, until I swipe all the way to the right, which that's why I kind of want to have just like one homepage or at the most two so that I can find that more easily. It just feels like a lot of setup, and it's already the third day. And one nice thing, I guess, or healthier thing is I'm using my phone less than the iPhone less than my Android. So I guess for my well-being, I have less screen on time and that's supposed to be better, right? It's like I know that I have to reach toward the iPhone and it just makes me feel really lazy to have to like use the iPhone instead of the Android where I was like, everything was already set up and I know how Android works and I know how TalkBack works and magnification and everything. And now it's like, oh, I want to use my phone, but it's an iPhone. Yeah. So hopefully that will get better in the next few days. And hopefully I can finish the whole setup process. It just feels like it takes forever. And I know like it doesn't really matter what operating system you use, like any setup is just going to be painful, I think. So, yeah, thanks everybody for watching. And either I will come back to you live tomorrow for day 4, or I'll see you in another vlog ish video. Thanks, everybody.